Welcome, everyone. Let's explore the forgotten wisdom of earth-sheltered winter survival. I bet you didn't know that in the harsh winters of the Dakota Territory, some pioneers found a way to stay warm without burning endless piles of wood. Imagine this. It's December in 1876. The prairie winds howl across the Dakota Territory, and the thermometer plunges to nearly 40 degrees below zero. Most settlers huddle in their timber houses, stoking stoves day and night, watching frost climb the walls, and burning through cord after cord of wood, praying they make it through the night. And yet a 16-year-old girl named Sarah Lindström walks out of the bitter wind into a dugout she built herself, carved deep into a south-facing hillside. Inside, it's a stable 64 degrees, cozy, safe, and thriving. She's alone, she's resourceful, and she's about to teach a lesson that the rest of the frontier would quietly adopt for generations. If you love history, survival skills, and the ingenious ways humans have adapted to extreme environments, you're going to want to stick around. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to Warcraft Survival, because every story we share uncovers the lost wisdom that kept our ancestors alive, and it could help you survive too. Now let's step into the world Sarah faced. Homesteading in the northern plains was brutal. Winter arrived early and stayed long. Timber and stone houses, no matter how sturdy, failed to protect families from freezing winds, heavy snowfall, or the relentless chill creeping through cracks and thin walls. Most settlers measured success by how much wood they burned, not by the efficiency of their homes. Sarah had almost nothing to work with. Less than $300 her mother had hidden in a Bible, a few basic tools, and a small knowledge inherited from generations of European farmers. But, she had something that many of her neighbours lacked: careful observation and the courage to question assumptions. She had noticed that root cellars in Sweden stayed stable through winter, that Norwegian elevated storage buildings stayed cool in summer, and that native earth lodges retained warmth with minimal fuel. She didn't know the science behind it yet. She only knew that it worked. Her solution was simple in concept, but revolutionary in practice. She dug into a hillside, carefully orienting the entrance south to catch any weak winter sun, carving 8 feet into the earth, 12 feet wide, 16 feet deep, with 9 feet of headroom at the front. The floor sloped imperceptibly toward the entrance to drain any water, keeping moisture out of her living space. She stacked sod bricks for walls, creating a double-layered barrier with a 2-foot air gap between, trapping dead air to act as insulation. Lodgepole pine timbers formed a sturdy roof, covered with willow branches and heavy sod. A small cast-iron stove, connected through a cleverly angled clay pipe tunnel, vented smoke efficiently while drawing heat into the surrounding earth. Every element of this design wasn't guesswork. It was a synthesis of Swedish, German, Norwegian and native building techniques combined into a single thermally efficient system that used a fraction of the fuel her neighbours relied on. The brilliance of Sarah's dugout lay in its mastery of thermal mass. She didn't fight the earth, she worked with it. The soil and sod absorbed heat from her small stove and released it slowly, keeping temperatures remarkably stable despite the blizzard raging above. When a storm hit days after she moved in, with temperatures dropping to 42 below zero, Sarah's interior remained at a steady 56 degrees, climbing to 64 with minimal fire. Outside, neighbours struggled to keep their houses above freezing, some burning through all their wood and still failing. Sarah had designed a system where careful observation, geometry and material selection replaced brute force. She managed moisture through floor grading and ventilation, created natural light wells through deep-set windows, and used free or cheap materials, proving that intelligence and planning could outperform wealth or brute labour. So, what can modern survival enthusiasts learn from this? Well, first, your environment is a resource, not an obstacle. The soil beneath your feet can regulate temperature if used thoughtfully. Second, small adjustments, like floor slope for drainage, layered walls with air gaps, or clever chimney angles, can, really improve efficiency and comfort. Third, observation beats tradition. What worked for centuries in other regions often holds valuable lessons if you just take the time to understand it. Sarah Lindström's story isn't just a historical curiosity. Honestly, it's a guide for thinking about sustainable, resilient shelter today, whether you're into off-grid homesteads, survival prep, or even modern energy-efficient design. By spring, 17 families sought Sarah's guidance. They built dugouts and earth-sheltered homes inspired by her techniques, dramatically reducing wood consumption and exposure-related deaths. She charged a modest fee, documenting her designs alongside Ernst Bergman, the schoolteacher who recognized her ingenuity. Over the years, hundreds of structures were influenced by her principles, showing that real knowledge comes from careful study, experimentation, and respect for natural systems. Sarah's approach highlights a critical lesson. Survival isn't about stubborn endurance or expensive tools. It's about understanding your environment and honestly letting it do the heavy lifting. So, next time you think survival is about buying more gear or hoarding fuel, remember Sarah Lindström. 16, alone, underprepared by conventional standards, and yet she created something smarter, safer, and more efficient than anyone around her. That's the mindset of Warcraft Prairie. Sätter själv curiosity, resourcefulness, and respect for the systems that sustain life. If this story inspired you, or if you want more practical insights from history that can teach modern survivalists essential skills, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Share this video with your friends who love history, building, or survival strategies. Comment below with what aspect of Sarah's ingenuity surprised you the most. We really want to hear your thoughts. Every like, share and subscription helps us continue bringing these forgotten lessons back to life, so future generations can learn from the past just as we have.